fluid coding, and AI. The question today is not whether Claude Sonnet 5 is smarter than Opus 4.8 in some abstract leaderboard fight. The real question is simpler and much more expensive. If a coding agent starts on Sonnet by default, does it get a brownfield patch merged with fewer dollars and fewer human nudges? That distinction matters because coding agents do not fail like chatbots. They fail by editing the wrong layer, breaking a test they did not run, or confidently explaining a patch that does not quite exist. So my default model test is not which model sounds smartest. It is what is the cheapest path to a correct reviewable diff. On Anthropic's API, this default question is now real. Claude Code's Sonnet alias resolves to Sonnet 5, and Opus resolves to Opus 4.8, but aliases are not contracts. Claude Code's own docs warn that aliases can update, and third-party provider deployments can lag unless you pin full model names. If your team cares about repeatability, pin the model. Here is where the story gets weird. If you only look at list price, Sonnet 5 looks like the obvious default, but if you only look at the hardest public coding benchmarks, Opus 4.8 still has the cleaner claim. So the actual default test lives in the middle. How much quality do you keep after you stop paying Opus prices? On price, Sonnet 5 has a real advantage. Through August 31, 2026, Anthropic's intro API price is $2 per million input tokens and $10 per million output tokens. After September 1, it moves to 3 and 15. Opus 4.8 is 5 and 25. Gemini 3.5 Flash is even cheaper at 150 and 9. For a simple 1 million input token plus 100,000 output token run, the rough math is $3 on Sonnet 5 intro pricing, $4.50 after the promo, $7.50 on Opus 4.8, and about $2.40 on Gemini Flash. Then the annoying software engineering part arrives. The cheapest failed patch is not cheap. Sonnet 5 also changes the cost math in a way that is easy to miss. Anthropic says it uses a new tokenizer, and the same text can produce about 30% more tokens than Sonnet 4.6. So do not compare price cards and call it done. For coding agents, you need token logs, retries, test loops, and interruptions. Effort is the hidden model choice. Claude Code supports low, medium, high, X-high, and max effort for Sonnet 5 and Opus 4.8, with high as the default. That means Sonnet 5 Medium might be the real challenger to Opus High for routine brownfield work. Max effort should not be treated as a magic button. Sometimes it buys useful reasoning, sometimes it buys overthinking with a receipt. The public benchmarks are strong, but they do not answer the whole question. Anthropic reports Sonnet 5 at 80.4 on Terminal, Bench 2.1 and 60.2 on SWE Bench Pro. Opus 4.8 is higher on SWE Bench Pro at 69.2, higher on OS World Verified, and higher on Cursor Bench. Sonnet is cheaper, but Opus still has a real quality argument. Gemini 3.5 Flash is the budget pressure test. Google positions it for agentic encoding work, with a 1 million token context window, code execution, function calling, and computer use preview support. But it is not a drop-in Claude Code model. If the harness changes, the comparison changes. That is not unfair, it is just a different product surface. That is why the same repo test matters. Same starting commit, same task request, same allowed tools, same time budget where the harness allows it. Then save the transcript, diff, test log, token counts, elapsed time, and every human intervention. One run is a demo. 2 or more starts to show a pattern. Welcome to benchmarking, where the expensive part is honesty. The scoring should be boring on purpose. Did the test pass? Is the patch minimal? Did it preserve public APIs and local conventions? How many failed test loops happened? How many times did a person have to steer it back? The winner is not the model with the nicest explanation. It is the model that leaves the cleanest mergeable diff per dollar and per interruption. My evidence-backed expectation is this. Sonnet 5 deserves to be tested as the default execution model, especially at medium and high effort, because its price is materially lower and its public coding scores are no longer in a different universe. but I would not retire Opus 4.8. I would keep it as the escalation model for complex, high-risk, long-horizon coding work. The practical playbook is conservative. Verify what Sonnet and Opus resolve to in your provider. Pin exact model names when repeatability matters. Start routine agent work on Sonnet 5, measure cost and steering, and escalate to Opus when the repo is messy enough that review time becomes the real bill. And if Gemini 3.5 Flash beats Sonnet on your own repo, take that seriously. Cheaper non-anthropic models are not automatically better, but they are good pressure on the default assumption. A coding agent default should have to earn its spot every time the harness, repo, or task type changes. If this helped you think about AI coding agents in terms of mergeable patches instead of leaderboard vibes, like the video and subscribe to Fluid Coding and AI. More practical model tests are coming with the boring receipts that actually matter.